The Shure SM7B is the industry standard for podcasting, streaming, and broadcasting. But what if I told you there's a budget mic that gets surprisingly close to that for a fraction of the price? This is the Fifine AmpliTank Tank 3, and today we're putting it head to head against the legendary SM7B. So a quick note before we do dive into this review, Fifine did send me out the AmpliTank Tank 3 for review, but as always, all thoughts and opinions here are my own. So the Tank 3 comes very simply packaged. You get the mic, a USB-C to USB-A cable, and of course the instruction manual. My first impressions were that it's really solid. The all-metal body feels really premium, it's heavy in a good way, and honestly, the name Tank kind of makes sense here. The matte black finish looks so clean, although it can pick up a few fingerprints, and the only downside I suppose with the build is that there is a bit of a plastic plate at the bottom where all the connections sit. Overall it doesn't feel like a deal breaker, but just something to keep in mind about the overall build. That bit isn't quite metal. The features and controls is really where it starts to get interesting compared to the SM7B. The Tank 3 has both USB and XLR outputs, so you can use it straight into your PC through the USB cable or through an interface like a Go XLR. It's also got a physical mute button with a color LED indicator, but do note that that only works in the USB mode. You also get a mic gain knob and a headphone volume knob for real-time audio monitoring. The SM7B, on the other hand, is strictly XLR, it's got no USB option, and no onboard controls. It's designed to be used with a proper interface or a mixer, whereas this seems a lot more beginner-friendly. So this is what's known as a dynamic cardioid microphone. It's got a capsule in the middle, which is designed for focused voice pickup, meaning it's going to reject a lot of the background sounds from the side and mainly pick up what is going to be in front of it, which is usually going to be your talking. Another feature that I really like is that it's got built-in 3/8 and 5/8 mounting threads for easy stand compatibility, and I could use it with my Blue Compass with absolutely no issues. Alright, so let's do what really matters, a direct comparison between the AmpliTank 3 and the Shure SM7B. So let's start with the Shure SM7B audio without any adjustments in software. This is a test of the Shure SM7B without any Go XLR settings. So now let's do the SM7B with my preferred EQ and Go XLR settings. This is a test of my Shure SM7B with my preferred Go XLR settings and with it about 10 centimeters away from my face. So now moving on to the Tank 3, this is going to be the raw XLR audio without any adjustments. This is the Fifine AmpliTank Tank 3 connected via XLR and with no gain added on the mic. This is also the default Go XLR settings with no additional EQ or adjustments. Now the Tank 3 with that exact same audio profile that I use in my Go XLR with my SM7B. This is the Fifine AmpliTank Tank 3 connected via XLR and now using my preferred Go XLR settings that I use for the Shure SM7B. And finally now the Tank 3 with the USB-C directly into the PC. This is now the Fifine AmpliTank Tank 3 connected via USB-C and with gain set to around 40% on the gain knob on the microphone itself. So after running through those tests, here's what I noticed. The SM7B definitely has that smoother, classic broadcast tone that it's known for, but the Tank 3 really surprised me actually. It gets a lot closer than I expected, especially for the price. On XLR, the raw sound was solid, but then when I applied my SM7B EQ settings in the Go XLR software, it sounded really good, and dare I say it, very close to the SM7B. On USB, you do need to crank the gain a bit, but the fact that it still delivers a clean, usable sound is really impressive considering it does both. And honestly, for streaming or quick recordings, the Tank 3 holds its own really well. What surprised me when using this mic was honestly just how usable it actually is. The SM7B obviously has that smoother, iconic broadcast tone, but the Tank 3, as we just heard, gets surprisingly close for just a fraction of the price. I also really like how portable it is. Compared to the bulky SM7B with its mount, the Tank 3 is much easier to throw in the bag and travel with. The USB option is also a really big plus. For quick recordings or streams, you can just plug it in without even needing an interface, which is something that the SM7B just can't do. So of course there are a few cons with this mic, and it's not absolutely perfect, as nothing is, but one of the cons is that it does need quite a little bit of gain on the USB side to get a strong signal. The mute button also doesn't work on XLR, which is a little bit limiting, but not something you'd expect. And of course the matte black finish does look really nice, but it can pick up a few fingerprints here and there. Honestly, none of these are real deal breakers though, considering the price point, and it's honestly a really solid mic. So is the Fifine AmpliTank Tank 3 the SM7B killer? Not exactly. The SM7B is still the gold standard for professional studios and for broadcast, but the Tank 3 delivers a shockingly good performance for its price, especially with the flexibility of USB and XLR in one mic. If you're just starting out or want a solid budget mic that you can grow with, this is a fantastic option. If you'd like to pick up one of these mics for yourself, then check out the link in the description down below. That is an Amazon affiliate link, so every single purchase made through there helps to support the channel. If this review did help you out as well, make sure to leave a like rating and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Let me know as well down there in the comments, what do you think about the AmpliTank Tank 3? Really interested to hear your thoughts. Of course, check out this video as well on the screen if you haven't seen it already, and we'll see you in the next one.